The third quarter report card of Adani Ports decoding the factors behind slide in rupee, a lowdown on UK's proposed digital currency Britcoin, and ChatGPT has a new frenemy. This is Business Plus, your definitive edge to business and economy. Adani Ports declared its third quarter earnings today. The logistics arm of the Adani Group reported a double-digit jump in revenues. Consolidated net profit, however, for the quarter were lower than compared to the same period last year. For the quarter ending December 2022, Adani Ports reported a 16% year-on-year decline in consolidated net profits at 1,315.54 crore rupees. In the third quarter of the last fiscal, consolidated net profit stood at 1,567 crore rupees. Now, revenue for the quarter, however, came in at 17.53% higher year-on-year at 4,786 crore rupees compared to 4,072 crore rupees in the corresponding quarter of financial year 2022. Now, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization were also up by as much as 15% at 3,011 crore rupees in the third quarter of financial year 2023. Adani Port CEO Karan Adani said that the company is well placed to achieve the upper end of its full-year revenue and operating profit guidance given the current financial year. Now, following the announcement, shares of Adani Ports were up by 5% at 573.85 rupees a piece on NSE. The stock ended the session at 1.41% higher. Third quarter earnings have come amid Adani Group's Hindenburg row, which wiped off, remember, $118 billion or 50% of the combined market capitalization of Adani Group companies. Adani Port shares have recovered by 26% from its recent lows despite a downgrade by S&P Global Ratings to negative. Other stocks in Adani stable have also posted modest gains in today's session. Adani Enterprises was the leader in the pack, surging over 14%. On the other side, Adani Total Gas, Adani Green and Adani Power were logged in the lower circuit. And moving on now, turbulent times have hit the Indian currency markets, with the rupee falling to its lowest in over 4 months to 82.73 rupees to a dollar. Now, the rupee fell more than 1% or 89 paise against the US dollar on Monday. This was rupee's biggest single-day fall against the greenback since September of 2022. With Monday's fall, the rupee has wiped out all of its gains so far in the year 2023. A similar trend was seen in other Asian markets as well, with the most major currencies ending Monday's session 1 to 2% lower. Now, this has happened on the back of strong US jobs data, which fanned fears of further rate hikes by the US Federal Reserve. The data pointed towards non-farm payrolls notching up their biggest gains since July of 2022, increasing by over 500,000 in January. Now, this was well above the street's expectation of less than 200,000 and December's gain of 260,000. What's more, the unemployment rate fell to its lowest in decades, coming in at 3.4% versus the estimate of 3.6%, which is still the lowest jobless level since May 1969 in the US. Now, the strong data indicates that the US Fed has room for more interest rate hikes, which could be a cause of worry for investors. All of this going towards strengthening the dollar and hence weakening all currencies pegged against it. Now, talking about rate hikes, the Reserve Bank of India is due to announce its monetary policy tomorrow. Most experts are forecasting RBI to slow the rate hike cycle in the policy meeting by raising the repo rate one more time. It should be noted here that RBI has been continuously raising the repo rate since May 2022 to fight inflationary pressures within the country. Now, in the last 3 quarters, the repo rate has gone up by as much as 2.25%. Meanwhile, RBI, which announces its decision tomorrow, is likely to raise the key interest rate by 25 basis points. With this, repo rate will be at 6.50% versus 6.25% as of now. A Reuters poll shows that over 75% economists expect nominal rate hike in February compared to 35 basis point increase in December, while the remaining have predicted no change. And keeping it up with the rupee, India has its own digital version, the e-rupee, and now the United Kingdom is one step closer to getting its own version of the e-rupee. For now, it's being called Britcoin. The Bank of England, the UK Treasury, stepped up work this week on creating a digital currency to sit alongside physical banknotes. To begin with, they want to allay the concerns that the work on Britcoin could threaten the stability of banks in England. Officials at the two institutions said that a central digital currency, or the CBDC, could present significant opportunities for consumers and businesses in the UK. The move is a part of an effort by central banks around the world to adapt to new forms of payment that work more quickly and smoothly in online transactions. It is also aimed at keeping the government involved in supplying money as consumers shift to card payments backed by companies and not by the government. Britain, home to the world's second biggest financial center, has been trailing former colonies such as Nigeria, the Bahamas, Jamaica and India in rolling out its own version of digital currency. India has launched its digital rupee in 4 Indian cities as of 1st of December 2022. The Indian government had introduced e-rupee to popularize a more acceptable electronic form of currency, one that does not carry with it the risks and damaging consequences of private virtual currencies. Now, Jeremy Hunt, the UK's Chancellor of the Exchequer, said that while the physical currency is here to stay, the digital pound could be a new way to make payment. The remark was made to allay concerns that digital currency could lead to further financial exclusion for vulnerable households who depend on physical cash. An Economic Affairs Committee had raised concerns that CBDC is a solution in search of a problem. The CBDC would be based on blockchain technology that is used by speculative cryptocurrencies like the Bitcoin. However, it would be issued by the Bank of England and would be backed by sterling, becoming interchangeable with cash and bank deposits. A decision on whether to push ahead with the Britcoin will likely be made around middle of this decade. If the project does proceed, the CBDC could be launched around 2030. Shifting focus, in its bid to take on the popular chatbot ChatGPT, Google has now unveiled an experimental conversational AI service called Bard. The service will initially be open to trusted testers only before making a wide debut. Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai had previously teased the launch of the service during company's earnings conference call, when he said that consumers will be able to use Google's language models as a companion to search. Now, Google is racing to catch up with the widely popular chatbot ChatGPT, which recently secured fresh investments from Microsoft. And Google is ready to take the competition head-on in its quest to supremacy in the artificial intelligence space. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business Plus. For more incisive news analysis and cutting-edge documentaries, keep streaming News 9 Plus. Thanks for watching.